Okay, we will continue to our last course this day. The next session is from Professor Mohammad Taherzadeh from Millow AB, Sweden. He is attending the session online by Zoom meeting. The lecture is about microbial nature-based solution for food system. This session will be led by Mr. Stugestus Kurniawan Chetty, MSc, as the moderator, a lecturer from Department of Food and Agricultural Product Technology, Universitas Gadjah Mada. Let me read the CV. Let me read the moderator's CV for you. Okay. Mr. Stugestus Kurniawan Chetty, MSc, is a lecturer in the Department of Food and Agricultural Product Technology, Universitas Gadjah Mada, with expertise in biotechnology and food microbiology. He completed his master's study at Universitas Gadjah Mada. His recent research grants are about development of functional beverage from coconut water with local probiotics, isolation and identification of a potential probiotic from chincharok, and development of sausage-like from filamentous fungi, local Indonesian, as alternative sustainable protein. Without further ado, Mr. Stugestus Kurniawan Chetty, MSc, the time is yours.
Thank you for the Master of Ceremony for introducing me. So good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Prof. Taherzadeh. Okay, so it's my pleasure to welcome you today in the guest lecture on behalf of the organizing committee. I would like to extend a warm welcome to the Prof. Taherzadeh and also all the participants in this fourth section, if I'm not mistaken. We have a distinguished speaker. Today we will jump into biotechnology area within the topic of microbial nature-based solution for food system. I think this topic is highly relevant with as global food system right now facing interconnected challenges such as climate change, food security, and also sustainability. At the same time, we have to find some improvement and also solution to recognize if there is any solution to encounter the problems. So we are honored to have a Prof. Taherzadeh today with us. He's a professor in biotechnology with extensive experience in bioprocess engineering, fungi biotechnology, and also circular bioeconomy. His work has contributed significantly to the development of solutions for sustainable food system, including conversion of agricultural side stream into high value product. Again, if I'm not mistaken, by 2020, Prof. Taherzadeh has authored more than 200 papers and making him one of the most foremost expert in fungi biotechnology. Some of the recent publication as utilization of food side stream through fungi biorefinery and media composition for edible filamentous fungi, Rhizopus oligosporus. He successful used the Rhizopus mold, the same mold as used in tempeh, proving that mycelium could efficiency upcycle the sawdust and pulp residual. So this is a huge invention, so innovation from him. And a lot of his contribution, he also awarded by International Bioprocessing Association as distinguished scientist and outstanding effort to the agricultural sector by FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization. So without further ado, it's my great honor to invite Prof. Mohammad Taherzadeh to deliver his lecture. Prof. Taherzadeh, we have 1 hour for a lecture and also maybe around 30 minutes for a question and answer. So the floor is yours, Prof. Taherzadeh.
Thank you very much for inviting me for this lecture, and also I appreciate the invitation by the organizer and also this introduction. Let me share my slides. Do you see my slide? So do you see that correctly, or?
I'm sorry, Prof. Taherzadeh, to interrupt you. It's
No.
maybe
Is it correct, or
yeah. You need,
should I put
it's
like
okay.
this?
Right now is correct.
No, it's okay. Okay, good. Okay, so I will talk about this microbial nature-based solution for food system, and but mainly topic about how to convert this agro in food industry and also climate solution for this resilient planet. As you heard, I come from the company named Millow, but my background is I'm professor in the bioprocess technology, and I worked at University of Boros from 2004 to 2026 as a full professor, so 22 years. But since last month, I moved to the company Millow in order to scale up the research results on the fungi production. My work is mainly on how to convert waste and residuals into this value-added products here, and I use anaerobic bacteria and also filamentous fungi. That is, I have done a lot of work. But today is a little bit more focused on the fungi and then how to produce food from this type of residuals. Millow is a company that I have just one slide here that since I work for more than 30 years on filamentous fungi. So in this company, which was established about 5 years ago, that we are producing different type of food material using this fungi and also this the plants. Those picture that you see on those photo that you see on this slide is a different type of product that Millow is producing in form of this, for example, meatloaf or burger or meat meals and so on. All of them are fungi based, so it's a more mycoprotein. But for this lecture today, I will put it in 4 parts. The first part, I will talk a little bit more about the challenge, and then part 2, I will talk more about this microbial natural-based solution toolbox. So we talk a little bit about the fermented food, probiotic, biocontrol, biofertilizer, and so on. And then in part 3, we come a little bit more on this mycoprotein and also alternative proteins. And finally, in the last section, we talk about this integration and also the future. So in this way, I hope that you get some kind of good picture on what we should do and then what we are doing actually. But what is the challenge actually, that why food system needs a microbial solution? That is the major question that to think about. As you can see here in this slide, we talk about we produce about 34% of this global greenhouse gases from the agri-food sector. We have about nowadays more than 80 billion, but until 2050, the projection is that we will have something around 10 billion people to feed. We have something about 1/3 of this all food is lost as a waste. And also we are consuming about 64% of the fresh water biodiversity hotspot. They are at risk. So there are, as you can see, there are many different challenges that we need our food system. So in this way that you can see, it is in some kind of triple crisis. So it is a major problem with this climate change. We are unable to supply this sustainable feed for this growing population. And also we are causing this losing this biodiversity, which is quite important. Also, we get more worse effect. If you just look at on this carbon dioxide emission, just on an example, You can see how much carbon dioxide we are producing to produce 1 kilogram of different food protein that we have here. If you look at on beef, we produce something about 70 kilogram of carbon dioxide or carbon dioxide equivalent per kilogram of this beef. For pork, it is about 12%, 12 kilogram. For chicken is about 9 kilogram. For mycoprotein, we talk about 6 kilogram, and then for plant-based protein, we talk about 3 kilogram. So these are the different numbers that what we have. But since this beef, chicken, and pork are the major protein sources in the world, then it means that we have a big challenge on this carbon dioxide emission. But the mycoprotein, they can produce much less carbon dioxide. So I will talk a little bit more about it in this future slides. But it is not only the one single problem, but we have also some other challenges. One main challenge, it is this surface water. We are getting more drought frequency, so it is in many different countries, so it is either too wet, too dry. You can imagine this, the weather almost everywhere, including Indonesia. In many other countries, we are losing this surface water. Like for example, in Africa, which started a few decades ago, these deserts are growing much higher. We are facing in North America, Latin America, in different Asian countries, and also in Europe, especially south of Europe, that is getting dry, and also we get surface water stress. The same thing also happening in groundwater. So many countries and then many regions, they are getting more stress on this groundwater. So the groundwater is becoming less. And also we are extracting more water actually compared to what it can be replaced by nature as a groundwater in almost everywhere. Biodiversity, that we are also losing quite a lot. 64% of the freshwater biodiversity hotspots are under risk. 1/3 of the river are pushed beyond the ecological thresholds. And we get also a lot of flood risks. So it is not that we are getting dry, but also when it gets rain, we are also getting a lot of flood. Almost everywhere. So it's either no rain, and when it rains, when it's raining, we are getting flood, not actually what is required to have a sustainable water management. But if you think about what nature has done for almost maybe thousands of years, the solution that we had, we have done a lot of works with ecosystems, and then a microbial community, and then biodiversity preservation and circular nutrient. And we also worked on this soil health restoration. This system, I would say that until maybe 100 years ago, it was pretty almost everywhere. But then we got a good development in technology, and then science have been developed, and then technology have been developed, and then we got a lot of development, especially in the last couple of decades. We see more and more precision fermentation. We see AI and also this data analysis. We get different omic technology. We have different bioprocess engineering and digital monitoring and so on. So then the question is that should we work on this nature-based solution, or maybe we should work on the science and technology? Now, many people say maybe the science and technology can develop better, but then we have a third approach, which is the co-creation of multi-stakeholder. And then you think about, for example, how to connect farmers to researchers, how to connect the policy integration, market alignment, knowledge community, and so on. So in this way that actually it is something that you get benefit of this science and technology, and also you get the benefit of this nature-based solution. But if you work on this, the first one, this nature-based only, then the process is slow to scale without technology support. You can imagine that our development in almost everything until, let's say, 50, 100 years ago, it was nothing. So we work with thousands of years with very little development on different fields. But it is hard to measure the outcome precisely. That's also another problem. You have variable results across conditions, so it is not the same result that you get. And also you get a limited precision in application and difficult to achieve consistency in industrial scale. I will give you different examples later on that you can understand it better. But if you take the other approach that you use technology only, so and then you want to develop something, you ignore critical ecosystem services. For example, let's say that you get, for example, you want to produce fish. So if you don't think about the water, and then if you don't think about how much it can affect the whole system, then you will be destroying actually the whole system, including your fish cultivation also. It can worsen soil and microbial health. So if you want to develop produce some kind of crops, for example, and then don't think about the soil, so you use the good technology to develop it further, but slowly you are worsening actually the soil condition. You can consume high energy, and that's also another issue that for this technology. And you can have some kind of fragile system that you miss this regenerative potential actually in such kind of system. But the best way is that to take benefit of both by some kind of integration of this nature-based solution plus this technology solution. And in this way that you can use this microbial nature-based solution that with modern science and technology. And in that case, you can improve this ecosystem, and also you can adapt to the changes, and then you can maintain the productivity while restoring the health system. This is something which is needed to do and then should think about. This microorganisms that we talk here, they are doing different things for us. And then when we talk about the sustainability, you should think about this agriculture and cultivation. Then you should think also there's a food production, waste remediation, bioenergy, and industrial bioprocessing. And microorganisms are active in all of them. For the soil health, without microorganisms, actually you are losing your soil and the productivity of your crops, because they are driving this nutrient cycling, decomposition, and the carbon sequestration, and in agricultural form. When it comes to this crops, then also the microorganisms help us quite a lot with this crop protection by this biocontrol agents, and then to suppress the pathogens and promote plant growth naturally. That's another thing that I will do. Food fermentation, that we'll talk a little bit more about it. They are transforming raw material into nutritional and safe and flavorful food production. Then you have also this food preservation by using this bacteriocin, organic acid like lactic acid and so on, and also competitive exclusion of this microorganism and other things that it can spoil the food. Then after the whole things are done, then you have this waste material and then waste production that we have. Then this microorganisms can help us to valorize this waste into form of different product. You can talk about this agricultural byproduct and residuals, or you can talk about this food waste and such kind of things. And finally, they also help us as a human health with different terms that you are familiar with, like probiotics, prebiotics, postbiotics, and so on. in order to get this gut microbiome and also immunity. So these are the things that the microorganism can help us. But if you look a little bit more on this, how they can help us, this microorganisms with the fermentation and biocontrol and the functional food. This microorganism, they were with us, and then we use them for 10,000s of years. And there are many different historical events that you can think about, but I just put some of them here. We produce wine and beer with something around 8,000 years before Christus, so around 10,000 years ago. We had this cheese making processes and soy in Europe, and also soy fermentation in Asia about 7,000 years ago. Then we have in China, we have the sauerkraut and also this pickling product and so on, and also this fermented fish sauce around 4,000 years ago. Then we have this, we come a little bit closer to about 1,000 years ago. We had this red yeast rice invented in China. About less than 200 years ago, this Pasteur discovered this microbial role in fermentation. Before that, we didn't know actually that what we are doing, but now we started to understand what's happening. When it comes to this little bit more the fungal product, we had 1985 that corn was launched commercially. And then in the last few years, we talk more about this precision fermentation and also this AI and also AI-driven food design. So as you can see that a lot of things are happening, and then you can put much more into this list. I just show some of them for you here. But this food that we are talking, that we have had different type of food in different countries. If you look at in Europe and also this Western Europe, I would say that we use mainly wheat and barley-based food to produce different products. Just I can say, for example, bread, or this is some typical example, or beer or fermented sausage, and this is a different type of dairy product. This is some kind of European culture and also Western culture, I would say, Western food culture I'm talking. If you come to the East, you have this Eastern and Southeast Asia. It is mainly rice-based cultures. So practically you are eating, I know in Indonesia, you love to eat rice, so three times a day. But in addition to the rice, you have also a lot of fermented soybean product like a tempeh, natto, miso, and so on. You have this pickled vegetables like a kimchi, fish shrimp paste, and so on. So this is more some kind of Asian culture or Eastern culture. Then if you come a little bit to the south, and we have this African culture, which is mainly based on this millet or sorghum and maize based product. And you can find many different type of African products which are based on this type of materials. And if you come to this Latin America, is more like, I would say that African and also Western European affected mainly, because they are mainly, we say the people are immigrant. If you go back a few hundred years ago, they were immigrant, especially from these two continents. So it is mainly this maize and cassava-based product that what we have here. So this is something that you should keep in mind in different type of food. So as you can see that we talk about rice practically in Asia. In Europe, we more talk about wheat and barley, so grains. And then when in Africa, is more on the sorghum, maize, and millet. That is something that what we have. If you look at on the other side, you look at on the fermentation and then microorganisms that are used in fermented food. We have this three categories that are used quite a lot. We have this bacteria, and then primary, we have this lactic acid bacteria and many different organisms like lactobacillus or streptococcus and so on that are quite famous, and then it's used quite a lot and with many different products. In yeast, we have also different genera of yeast that are used in food. The most well-known one is Saccharomyces and like Saccharomyces cerevisiae. But we have many others like a Candida, Pichia, or Chloromyces, and so on. And in filamentous fungi also, we have many of them and are used in different traditional novel foods. Like, for example, in Indonesia, you are using rhizopus in tempeh, or different countries, and including also you, Indonesia, you are using aspergillus, and we talk about this Monascus fusarium and so on. And you have, I also put this oncom or onchom that you are using this neurospora in Indonesia. So as you can see that we talk about this three different categories that are used to produce food, or bacteria, yeast, and filamentous fungi. But then the question is that what is the health effect, and then what they do this fungi for us in food. So the first thing that is good they are doing is extend the shelf life. And I can say here in this point, we talk about this good microorganisms versus bad microorganisms, a little bit of competition between these two. So what we are doing, we are taking this good microorganisms to take over and then stop the bad microorganisms to spoil the food. So what we have here is that what they do, the good microorganisms, like for example, the lactic acid bacteria, they are producing different organic acid like lactic, acetic, and so on, or they produce ethanol, for example, in order to stop other microorganisms to take over, which are practically these pathogens. So in this way that we have some kind of natural preservation without a synthetic additive. Like if you consider, for instance, wine or beer or such kind of things, you can keep them for maybe very long time, for many years, without, we say, damaging. Or if you see, for example, you have your tempeh that you are growing this good microorganisms, which in this case it is rhizopus, in order to stop the other bad microorganisms to take over. Another one is this enhanced nutrition. And it gives a lot of, say, good things for us, especially we talk about this different vitamins, like, for example, different B complex or K2 and so on, or bioavailability of minerals. So what they are doing, they are removing the different type of anti-nutrients like phytic acid and so on, and improve this digestibility and so on. And you can say just your tempeh, for example, it is has a much more riboflavin than this raw soybean. So it is much better to eat tempeh compared to eating the soybean. Then you have also improved safety, like this lactic acid bacteria fermentation. It reduces aflatoxin by quite a lot. And then it destroys this trypsin inhibitors, the phytate, and so on. So it's improved safety. And also better flavor, like for example, that when you are using this microorganism, you can produce this glutamic acid to give some kind of umami taste, or some different esters, organic acid, and different volatile compound in order to improve this olfactory properties, or we say taste property, and so on. So at the end, you will get much better sensory experience by this effect. If you look at this probiotics, that is one big part of this microorganism for human health. They are the microorganisms that they living and we eat them practically, and then they give us a good health. We have many different probiotics, but I put them a list of these three major of them here. It's Bifidobacterium or Lactobacillus or Saccharomyces boulardii. This last one is the yeast, the other two are this bacteria. They have a very good health effect, like, for example, improving this gut microbiome composition and enhance the immune function and so on. So it is quite a big, I would say, discussion, and also big media coverage on probiotics. So we talk about both probiotic and also prebiotic. So these are and the microorganisms are probiotics, so they should be alive that when you eat them. So we have this, there is a big market growth for this probiotics, and also a lot of this discussion and then development at what they can do. And then you have also this postbiotics. So if these microorganisms are not alive, then what are these different compounds of the microorganisms that could also be some kind of good effect? Then if we come to the another part, which we call this prebiotic or postbiotics, that are, these two terms are used quite a lot. Then when it comes to this food safety, the microorganisms, they are we say that if I call them the good microorganisms, they try to produce something in order to exclude this bad microorganism and or to kill them. So they are using different way, like for example, bacteriocins. It is some kind of antimicrobial peptides that are produced by this lactic acid bacteria, and they target some kind of a specific pathogens. So, and they are good to use. So in this way, that they are quite popular, and there's a big market. So when you talk about this bacteriocin, you can buy them on the market. So if I just no, it's not only this one. So if you talk about this peptide, there's a very big market on the peptide right now in the world. So if you want to buy peptide, you find many of them, including this one. Then you have also this competitive exclusion. So if you grow them some kind of good microorganism, they out-compete these pathogens that they cannot grow any longer. A good example is, for example, yogurt. So if what you do is that you cultivate, say, this some kind of good microorganism, this lactic acid bacteria in milk. So they convert milk to yogurt, and then at the end, so this pathogen cannot grow longer. So it means that the milk will be maybe spoiled in just a couple of days. But if you keep them as a yogurt, you can keep them much longer time. And the third part, the third methodology is this bacteriophage, that you have some kind of viruses that would specifically target pathogenic bacteria. This is also quite famous, and then it's used quite a lot in the world. If we look at another one on this biofertilizer, we have the microorganisms. They're also doing different thing for us. We have this nitrogen fixation. That is a big effect of this microorganism in the agriculture. Then we have a phosphorus solubilization, also another thing, like for example, bacillus is doing these things in soil. Then another one is mycorrhiza, that and also trichoderma, that these two categories that improve nutrient uptake. So they make some kind of synergies in between this plant roots and the soil. So it works like some kind of a micro root for this for the plant. And then the last one, which is also we have a lot of research at the moment going on, it is the combination of this biochar and this microorganism. So biochar has some kind of porous structure and some kind of absorption effect. And then with the microorganism, in the combination, it increases actually this microbial diversity, and then plant resilient to drought and also temperature extremes, which is used quite a lot. And we have both research and also this production. Then we have this, if you look at on this strategies for food preservation, this lactic acid fermentation is one of them. So what they do is that they take this pH reduction by especially lactic acid, or sometimes they have also maybe others like acetic acid in different products. We have protective cultures, that we have another factors that you have this living microorganisms. There will be barriers in food surface, so they compete out the bad microorganisms like Listeria or Salmonella. Then you have also this bio-based packaging. That's another material that are used. You have some kind of microbial cellulose or PHA bioplastic that is produced by the bacteria and so on, in order to produce some kind of good packaging, and this biodegradable and also good packaging for food. Bacteriocin that I also mentioned before, Then you have also exopolysaccharides that there are many microorganisms like produce xanthan or pollulan and so on for edible coating or different food that to extend shelf life and improve the texture. And then you have this biopreservation that you can have this different approaches or combined approaches, I would say. Like, for example, lactic acid bacteria and this bactericide and so on. That are used, this type of thing are used quite a lot in different type of food. If I would say that if you, for example, you are going to use to buy different food at the moment on the market, you can see that there are different shelf lives. Maybe something that could be maybe for just a couple of days shelf life, or maybe 1 week, or maybe 1 month, or 1 year, and so on. And in this way, that there are different such kind of methodology are used quite often. When it comes to the fermentation, you want to use this fermented food, then I would say that we have two different ways to carry out this fermentation. We can call them as a traditional fermentation or modern or industrial fermentation. And there are many differences between these two categories. If you think about this scale, this is traditional as usually small. Like, for example, you can consider your tempeh production. It's a small production, but if you want to have this large industrial production, it's normally a large factory. Medium is for traditional, usually non-sterile or variable. For the industrial one, is usually heat treated and standard as a medium in the culture. For traditional environment, they're usually open and exposed, and for industry, is usually closed and contained. For operation, usually you run this traditional or manual and then time flexible. And for industrial, you're using automated and then time sensitive. The culture for traditional, usually indigenous microbiota. And for industrial, you have this selected starter culture. For quality, traditional, you normally get variable batch to batch, but in industry, you should get consistent and controlled. When it comes to the safety, for traditional, there's minor concern, but for this industrial, there's major concern, and HACCP it is quite applicable in such a case. And for monitoring, for traditional, normally you are using the sensory or experience and so on. Like, for example, if you take a tempeh, you can consider if it's the color is changed or the smell is changed and so on. But if you want to have this industrial, then you should use some kind of sensor or AI or real-time data and so on. So different type of measurements. I don't say that which one is better, but I'm telling that there's differences between this traditional and also this industrial that are at the moment applicable in the world. So in this three categories that I mentioned, if you look at the microorganisms, then you can for bacteria, there are many different bacteria that are used for food production. And practically, this lactic acid bacteria, you can say that there are quite a lot, like Lactobacillus plantarum, that it is used in sauerkraut and kimchi. Or you can say, for example, in fermented sausage, there are different Pediococcus that is used to control the pH and inhibit the pathogens. Bacillus subtilis is quite famous in different type of food, especially this fermented soybean, and also what it can do with vitamin K2 and so on. Then you have in this yogurt, this Streptococcus, which is quite famous. Normally we have different type of mixture of different microorganisms. Another one that I can say is nata de coco, that's Acetobacter, which is quite famous, and Leuconostic that is used in the sauerkraut and also in this Swedish field milk that is used as something similar to yogurt, but different things. Yeast also that are used quite a lot, but the most famous one is Saccharomyces cerevisiae that is used in bread, beer, wine, and so on. Then we have other yeast. Candida is a well-known one that is used to produce sour dough. another kind of bread, I would say, that makes some kind of better quality. Then we can talk about this the cloveromyces that is used in kefir. That's quite a famous one. And also another example that I can mention is the monascus that is used as a red rice. And you have it also quite a lot in Indonesia. So in this video, just some examples that I mentioned. I cannot put all of them here, but there are just a very few examples. If you look at on the other category, this filamentous fungi that are used in food system, I put this Rhizopus oligosporus that are used in tempeh, and also this Neurospora that is used in oncom that you have in Indonesian food. Then if you talk about this non-Indonesian food, the most famous one probably is Aspergillus oryzae, especially in soy sauce, and several other products that are used. And then we can, when it comes to this mycoprotein, also there are many different organisms that are used. And then I just can mention this, for example, Fusarium, which is used in corn since around 30 years ago. If you want to use any of these microorganisms, the first thing that you should consider is that they should be safe to use. And then the microorganisms, we put them in 4 different categories. So the safe one, or the best one, that we call it grass microorganisms, which are non-pathogen, and then they have a long history to be safe, like, for example, Saccharomyces cerevisiae or the tempeh fungi, this Rhizopus, that is in this category. Then you have this, if they are non-pathogen, and then but not, we say grass, then you put them in category 1, which could be okay, but they are not pathogen actually, but you are not sure. Then you have this category 2, they might cause some kind of infection and they could be dangerous. And category 3, that should be very, very careful when you work with this category. So it means if you want to use this microorganism in the food, then definitely it should be grass, and then not any of the other category 1 or 2 or 3. But in different regions and different, we say, countries, they have also some kind of more regulation. In EU, we have some kind of a novel food regulation. I'll give you just one example, and what is it means here. This novel food it means that if it's used in the European Union before 1997, then it is okay to use. It is not novel. But if you have some kind of another microorganism which is not used a lot in Europe before that date, it could be as a novel. So I give you 2 examples. If you consider this 2 Indonesian food, like, for example, Rhizopus oligosporus and the tempeh, the fungi, since it was used in Europe before 1997, it is not novel, so you can use it freely without any regulation. But if you want to use this Neurospora, which is oncom fungi, since it was not used before that date in larger scale, then it is novel. So it means that you are not allowed to use. You need a special permission. You can say that, okay, for example, oncom is used quite a lot in Indonesia, and then we should be able to use it in Europe. They say, okay, you can open a case, and then they can consider for you. And it is okay, and just the problem is that it's quite costly and also take many years. So the companies actually, they don't want to do that. But if any company or any country or any university take, let's say it comes and then say that oncom fungi is okay to use and it is safe, and then you get some kind of approval, so everybody can use it in Europe. So this is some kind of European regulation. But there is also similar regulation in different countries that we have. Just give you just a few examples that different material that are used. The first one is cheese, that cheese process that you have some kind of different microbial complexity. So what is done for cheese production? You take milk, normally you have some kind of pasteurization and inoculation, and then you have this coagulation, and then your cheese is practically ready. So you remove this whey, the liquid remain in liquid, and then this curd cutting, and then you have some kind of post-processing like salting, molding, and so on. So, and then if you go to different countries, and then even in one country, in different region, there are many different type of cheese, which they have different taste, different aroma, they look different, the color is different, and also, but all of them are edible. So the big difference that you have is that you have the different microorganisms, practically indigenous microorganisms that have been developed and then are used for this cheese production. So what practically we are doing, we are taking milk, and then we take this milk protein, convert it into something that we can keep it for a longer time. Milk by itself, you can keep it maybe for a few days, but if you convert it to cheese, you can keep it for maybe for a year or something like that. If you take another example, like this kimchi, that you take a cabbage and then you just salt it and the cabbage, radish, and so on, and then mix it with different type of seasoning like garlic, red pepper, and so on, and then use this as some kind of fermentation with different bacteria, and especially this lactic acid bacteria that are used in this case. So what they do is that you make something like pickle, and then this produce this lower, reducing the pH and a little bit sour taste. And then you can, the cabbage by itself, maybe you can just keep it for a couple of days. But in this way, when you make a kimchi, you can keep it for a year without any problem. And then in the room temperature. That is also another example that what this microorganisms are doing. I put also tempeh here. You are all familiar with tempeh. So what you do is that you take a soybean and then you cook it a little bit, and then you just cultivate it with this rhizopus or this fungi, and then improve the quality and then taste and then texture and so on. So you all, I think you all should be expert how to make a tempeh. So I don't need to talk about it. But in this way that you improve actually the quality of this soybean using this fungal fermentation. So if you look at with this stuff, you go a little bit with the mycoprotein and also alternatives protein. That's some kind of revolution that it's going on since maybe, I would say that since the last, in this decade, not so many years, I would say that has been quite a hot topic. You remember this picture that I showed you, that we have a big problem actually in this carbon dioxide emission of a different food, and also we don't have enough food. So we have two factors, that is, do we have enough protein for everybody to eat? And then the second question is that if you want to have, if we are saying that if Americans are this beef eater, so they love to eat beef. If everybody wants to eat beef like Americans, so the whole we say earth will be destroyed very quickly because of all this carbon dioxide that we are producing. So, but so it means that what is going on since we're saying maybe in the last, I would say 10 years, we have a global protein demand that it is very high. So is and also then we have this carbon dioxide emission. These two factors together, it improve actually bringing a lot of this plant-based protein and also this mycoprotein as some kind of fermented product. So there's a lot of investments are going on in different countries and different regions in the world. So there's a pretty hot topic at the moment. But we have this three different alternative protein pathways. So the first one is some kind of biomass fermentation. So what you do is that you grow this whole organism under biomass. Like, for example, you take this mycoprotein, like a fusarium that I mentioned before in a corn product. Or you can have also other microorganisms. It is not only this fungi. You can have algae, which is also quite a hot topic at the moment, algae, seaweed, and all different type of marine products. And also you have this bacteria protein as a single cell protein, which also a lot of universities and also companies that are working. Another one is this something that we call it precision fermentation, that microbes produce a specific target protein. Like, for example, you want to have some kind of a specific you want way or costing that could be a target, for example. I put just the name of the company if you want to check later on, like this perfect day. Or you want to produce egg protein using this microorganism to produce egg protein and not having the chicken. Or maybe collagen, that's also another example that you can have it here. These are called the precision fermentation, and at the moment they are using quite a lot. So many people love this term precision fermentation, but if I want to be honest with you, I'm getting tired of this word precision fermentation. I try to not to use it myself. Then you have also this new, we say, plant-based that we call, or tech-enhanced, and which is just the last few years that we have this AI formulation. That is something that is also quite a lot of development is going on right now, and also this high moisture extrusion, especially for the plant protein. A typical one is this: you take this soybean soy protein, and then you use this high moisture extrusion, and then make TVP. That is, now you can find it everywhere, relatively cheap, and then you can produce different type of things after it. And nowadays we talk about this hybrid protein and hybrid product. Like, for example, you want to have this combined plant fermentation, a plant plus a fungi, for example, what Millow is doing, that we take this plant plus fungi. Or if you come this meat, like, for example, like beef plus a fungi, or we say plant, or chicken plus plant, and so, such kind of things. That are also quite, there's a big growing market in that one. But if you look a little bit more on this mycoprotein, that is I would say it's practically this protein that are produced by fungi. So is normally, if I want to be correct, it is the protein part of the fungi. But since you are eating the fungi and not the protein, usually is some kind of wrong, I would say, word that is used. So people say filamentous fungi is mycoprotein, and if you talk to public, I also call it mycoprotein, but we say scientifically is not correct, because fungi are not mycoprotein, but it is the protein that are produced by fungi. So, but now since the fungi are used practically as a whole, so they call it mycoprotein, and that's a typical term that is used almost everywhere. Like, for example, the fusarium that is in a corn product. So what they have is that they have something, let's say that 30, 40, 50% protein is fungi, and they have all essential amino acids, and that's a little bit difference between this fungi plus compared to, for example, plant. For example, in the plant protein, many of them, they lack this lysine or some kind of essential amino acids. But this fungi, they have practically all of them. And they have also other some kind of interesting factors like dietary fibers, like beta-glucan, chitosan, and so on. Then you have also low saturated fat, and then zero cholesterol, and also you have more vitamins and minerals and so on. So these are this fungi, and there's mycoprotein. And the practical is something similar, that what you do is that you take the substrate like a glucose or this nitrogen minerals, and then you sterilize your medium and then inoculate the fungi, and then you wait for a while, and then until this fungi can grow, and then you harvest it. And after that, you have to do some kind of post-treatment, like a heat treatment, to remove this or reduce this RNA. And then you have some kind of downstream in order to get a good texture and so on, and then final product as you can get. But it is we have a lot of this sustainability issue. That is one important factor that we talk about this filamentous fungi, that they produce less carbon dioxide, they demand less water, they demand less land, and also there's you have less waste production. This is something that we talk about the advantage of sustainability. So that's driving force of why should we use this filamentous fungi here, or this mycoprotein. And then we have, because of those factors, there is a big investments and the value of this mycoprotein, and also the market is growing. And you can find many different things. And this is some kind of projection that I saw. I just put it here in this picture. But you can see this the numbers. So we talk about we are approaching in some years some kind of billion US dollar. So now we are less, but not so far from there actually. And there's a pretty good growth rate here. But if you look at on this industrial landscape, put them in three different tiers. Tier one, the market leaders, I can say that corn is probably the market leader. They started in 1985, and then they use fusarium. And they are producing in Europe, and also the market are in Europe, North America, and Asia Pacific. And this is the first one. But they have also some kind of a problem. For example, many people, they don't like the taste of fusarium, or they have allergic and some different factors that they have. And then it comes to open up the market for others, and they want to come some kind of using different type of feedstocks or substrate or different type of fungi and so on. So then it comes to innovators like the company like INOV, or we say the fermentin that are using different organisms and different fungi in order to go to the market. And then we have also different startups that like, for example, Meaty Foods or Prime Roots or My Forest. They talk about this whole cut product. And also we have this Millow that we are using this local side streams. And then we have also, then you come to a little bit lower scale at this different, we say more, I would say, in the research steps. But this is just, I can tell you that this is one picture, but every few months or every year, these are changing. There are many companies that are new company coming in, and then many of them get bankrupted, and then some of them, they try to scale up, and then they fail, and then some other companies comes in and so on. For us, Millow is now is not a startup any longer. We started 5 years ago as a startup, but now we are scaling. Actually, we are going to this tier 2, and then we are we want to cover this year on the especially Nordic country in the north of Europe. That is something that we are doing right now. That's the reason I moved from the university to this company. And then, if you want to produce this fungi, it is not not only from sugars. Like, for example, corn, they are using glucose and the sugars. But if you want to be a little bit more sustainable, actually, maybe sugar is not a good thing, and that's why we have so many different opportunities. We can use different type of raw material, especially we have agricultural side streams, and also some kind of different industrial byproduct. Like this brewery that's being grown from the brewing industry, or bakery waste, like, for example, different old breads. That is a very big market that we have. You don't eat bread in Indonesia, but it is very big, we say, market in Europe. So we have some, but we have something on 20% of the bread is wasted. It is actually still very good quality, and but it's old bread. Everybody wants to have the fresh bread, not the day before. So that's why we threw away quite a lot. Then you have also a lot of this fruit and vegetable processing residues that you have, for example, apple pomace is a typical example, and so on. And also crop residues, like from this husk or straw and so on, that is more come to the lignocellulosic material. And then you have also some kind of food industry wastewater that also quite a lot. So what you can do is that you can take, yeah.
I apologize for interrupting your presentation. I would just like to kindly remind that there are 10 minutes remaining for the presentation.
Okay, I try to finish within 10 minutes, no problem. Okay, and then here that we have this with all this material that you do some kind of pre-treatment and then to prepare the feedstock, and then you grow the fungi and then harvest it in order to produce this mycoprotein. Then we have, you are using different type of technology like this precision fermentation that I showed you before in order to improve this the quality of the product. And then we have this advanced bioprocessing technology that I didn't mention before, but it comes a lot on this computational fluid dynamics that of the movement, for example, in the reactor, how to improve it. Then you have also this low energy processing because you are using quite a lot of this energy into your process, and then that would make it quite expensive and also maybe environmentally not so good. So you should reduce it, and there are different technology. Then you have this process intensification and also a different type of omics that are using quite a lot right now, like a metagenomics, metabolomics, proteomics, and so on, in order to select this different strain and design your strain and then improve your fermentation process. Then you have this waste valorization, and that also another factors that the waste that you are producing, that what we can do is that we can convert this food waste to, for example, biogas, a source of energy, or we can have this crop residues that we can convert to, for example, by plastic using the bacteria. Then we can have this mycoprotein, like this brewery, for example, residuals can be converted to this mycoproteins. And then you come to this other one, like, for example, you have this manures, you can convert to biochar, and then for soil enhancement, also using the microorganism. So in this way that the microorganism can close the loop also from this waste, you can come back as the feedstocks. And finally, in this part 3, I can mention also this biosensor and a smart food that also quite a large research and development that we have right now, like real-time pathogenic detection. You have this biofilm management and also different new technology like CRISPR that are used quite a lot to pathogen identification and so on. So this is something that also is growing quite a lot. And just in the last part, we talk about this integration and co-creation. So when it comes to the integration, I showed you this picture before, that we have this nature-based and also we have science-based, and also we need to have some kind of co-creation in order to use the best part of this, what is done traditionally and also what has been done by nature, and then what we come in with this new technology. And then to adapt new conditions, so we maintain the ecosystem health and also improve this productivity, and then create also this economic value from waste stream and so on. Then we have this, we have different models that we have this traditional model that have been used so far was that researcher, you come with something, new technology or some new methods, then it's extended to, and then it's give to the farmer. This is a little bit a slow adaptation, and also it is, you have some kind of inappropriate solution that a researcher comes in. That's a major problem, actually. You come with a solution that the farmers don't like, it doesn't work. But another one is that to take co-creation model, that you can take this multi-stakeholder, you can take this local knowledge and then scientific expertise. For example, you have this farmers, they have some kind of practical knowledge and then they know how to implement things. And researcher and university, they know they have some kind of good scientific expertise. So, and then you have also this technology providers, they have a lot of these different tools, platform, data analysis, and so on. And then this, the companies, they know the market access, investment. Then you have also this policy makers, and then this government and regulation and so on that should work. And then this civil society and NGO that then you have the community organizer, and then finally you have the consumers that should see the value, preferences, and then market demands. So what we learn also is that you should go for put different stakeholders, work together and develop a model that it can work, not from researcher in order to produce something that doesn't work. That's a major mistake that many of these companies and universities and researchers have done. Then finally, you have this enabling condition that you need to have a good policy and governance. So you have this finance and also the markets should work, and then technology and infrastructure also should work. So then you have also some other factors that are critical insights that should think about ecosystem and the biological and institutional that also should be considered. So all of them also should work together to come in. Then we have also different living labs that there is no time to go through it. But what we have practical is that there's a co-design of defining of challenges together. Then have also this co-development that tests different things in this real condition, and then co-assess to measure outcome of holistically, and then co-scale to adapt and also to scale up and spread also the success. And there are many different examples. Just have a quick look for just 2-3 of them. Mycoprotein from brewery waste. This is the challenge is that beer is quite a common drink everywhere in the world. And then you produce a lot of solid residual, which contain practically this protein and then protein and then carbohydrate and also starch and lignocellulosic material. So you can convert those material together with the mycoprotein and with the fungi and then produce some kind of food out of it, food or feed, both of them. So this is a good example that how can a residual can be converted. Or if you come to the wastewater treatment, this is just some example. You can check it later on the internet. This Chesapeake Bay that is in the US, and then they had a lot of problem with this water pollution. That's a bay. And this water pollution is coming from this agricultural area. And then the question was how to use this microbial nitrogen fixation and so on, and then develop the wetland. And this is also another example. Tempeh, that I don't need to go through that you already know that how to use this, learn from tempeh, from this fungi, and then what has been done before to develop some kind of food that you are all eating. Then you have also this soil microbiome, and for agriculture, that's also another issue, that we are using this microorganism from soil to improve this soil quality, and also this to use some kind of as a biofertilizer reduction, and also working as a fertilizer, and also this mycorrhiza, and then I told you this biochar for microorganisms that also work together, and also this trichoderma, which in addition to mycorrhiza, for biocontrol of the plant pathogen also that could come and help. And finally, the precision fermentation. Also, there's also quite a lot of this examples that you can say that if you just check for this word later on yourself, that you can find a lot of this work about it, how to develop some kind of a specific product. And then we come to this, the landscape that we have for the next few years. We have a lot of works on AI integration, AI plus biotechnology that is going on. Then we have also regulatory evolution, that it is something that our regulatory in different parts of the world is not ready. So we have a lot of work going on how to improve it. Then we have this investment shift, and is going more from towards some kind of climate smart agriculture and also alternative production. And then we have this microbiome science that is coming to how to improve some kind of healthy material, and then how to connect all of them together from this soil, food, and gut microbiome. That's also a big development that we have also going on right now. But there are also some kind of barriers. The financing is the big barrier, that we need a lot of financing in fermentation infrastructure and so on. Knowledge gap that we found that also is quite a big issue, both the farmers that from one side and also consumer awareness on the other side. That's also a big issue. Then we have regulatory that is a big barrier for many different material and product that could come to the market. And then we have also this consumer acceptance, also many consumer skepticism about, for example, fungi-derived protein and so on. So this is also some kind of another issue. So they are getting afraid, for example, and using. But there are also some kind of opportunities ahead that we have a policy momentum that, for example, in Europe, we have EU Green Deal and also farm to fork strategy. I believe there are also something similar to in the other countries. Consumer demands, so many consumers need also some kind of better. They are ready to pay a little bit more for a better food. We have investment growth and also this technology, which is also getting more and more mature with different methodology that are developing right now. Then we have also this microbiome also that just to put this slide for you that to remember that we talk about this soil microbiome, plant microbiome, food microbiome, and the gut microbiome. All of them are connected to each other. You cannot just say that one of them will just work with gut, for example. Also, you should think about the soil and also all the others. How to connect this to each other, and we have a lot of research and development right now in this topic. And the microorganisms are a critical role actually they play here. We have this critical success factor also that we have ahead of us, that scale is one big issue, that we have many companies, they die in a small scale, they cannot scale it up. Then we have also affordability, they should be economically feasible, so many, they produce different products that become too expensive, people cannot buy it. And then you have also the trust and the transparent scientific communication also, that it is something you should trust it. And also we should also think about the speed. We don't have so much time left in order to develop. But these things that it comes also to the different sustainable development goal, that is something that is integrated all of work here in Europe and in also many other countries getting more and more important. We talk about this goal number 2, zero hunger, and goal number 2, good health, number 9, innovation, number 12, responsible consumption, number 13, climate action, and then number 15, life on land, and also number 17, partnership. All of them are connected to this discussion that I talked today. And then we have also this for Indonesia and Southeast Asia. I also put this slide that, yeah.
There are still 5 minutes remaining for the presentation. I apologize for
yes.
that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm finishing in 2-3 minutes, so it's okay. So we have also this, for Indonesia, you have this rich fermentation heritage that you have that is quite good. You should consider actually, they are living in a very interesting condition. Have a good agriculture opportunity and producing, and a lot of this agricultural side stream that could be used, like for example, from palm oil, rice, cassava, and so on. Have a climate imperative, also this perfect condition that for different microorganisms to be grown and then to be used, and also a big potential, and then very good universities, and also this a good knowledge that you have there. So a connection between them actually would be quite useful. And what you can do actually in this transformation for the researcher and the students, I would say adopting this transdisciplinary approach that is quite critical, and apply systems thinking to food challenge. So don't be one side, so think about some kind of systematic way. And engaging in participatory research, and also bridge traditional also to modern science. Think about what, for example, your grandparents or farmers have done, and then how can you learn from them, and also this new technology. Connect them to each other, and then you can be successful. For the practitioners and also in industry, that we talk about this, start small from pilot project and live in labs, and then go to this measure holistically, environment, economy, society, and share openly the knowledge and in common, and also invest in circular feedstocks model. This is something that actually that you can consider the sustainable food choice in your daily life. If everybody think about it, you will have a totally different way. Some key takeaway from this today lecture that you can consider that microorganisms are the invisible foundation of sustainable food system, from soil health to human nutrition. Then we have this nature-based plus science-tech integration create resilience at scale, and the neither approach achieves alone. So you need both of them together. The third one is a fermented food, represent 10,000 years of microbial nature-based solution, and the tradition is being revolutionized by modern science. That's what is going on right now. Then we have mycoprotein and alternative protein offer a much lower carbon dioxide. In this example, I put 93%, but we have many cases, even 96, 97%. And the highest impact on food system in intervention available. Then we have circular bioeconomy through microbial waste valorization, transform the food system biggest liability into the greatest asset. And the number 6 is co-creation and enabling condition as an important or as important as the technology itself. So don't think only about technology. Also, this co-creation is also very critical. And then if we think about the goals that we have until 2030, we are just 4 years. It is just like a tomorrow. So we are actually don't much have time left. I put this one at the end that the microbes hold the missing ingredient needed for the next climate breakthrough. By collaborating with nature's smallest organisms, we can build food systems that feed humanity while healing the planet. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Taherzadeh. We give a round of applause for Taherzadeh. Thank you, thank you. Thank you once again for the comprehensive lecture on the challenges, opportunities, and various alternatives that can be integrated to improve our food system. We have learned today, Professor, that microorganisms are not only central to traditional fermented foods, but also highly relevant to the futures of sustainable food system. So we will now move to the Q&A section, which will last for approximately 25 up to 30 minutes. I would like to invite all of the participants. If you have any question, please raise them to the Prof. Taherzadeh. Okay. Yes.
Hi, this is Nisi from the Philippines. I just want to say that I really enjoyed this lecture as somebody who's trying to eat more plant-based proteins. I would like to ask, in Sweden specifically, is the market for plant-based proteins or mycoproteins specifically, is it still considered a niche market? Or has the consumption of, or what is the attitude or the opinion of Swedish people for plant-based proteins? What do they think about it now?
If I say a little bit more in general, and thank you very much, interesting question. And what I'm thinking is that if I give you a little bit more general answer, that we had a big investigation in 3 countries that we chose: Sweden, Germany, and Spain. So they have different attitudes. So Spain are a little bit more eat meater. Germany and Sweden, they are more on this more sustainable way of thinking and also plant-based. So Sweden is among the country which I would say that it is not on the niche market anymore. So it is coming in general, not this mycoprotein yet, but if we say in plant-based protein, that is quite a lot. We have many people that are vegetarian right now. So, and also we have many people that are flexitarian. So it means that they eat meat, but they try to eat less. So it is very common here that if you want to have, for example, when you go to a restaurant, so they give you always 3 options: meat, fish, and vegetarian. That is very common. And so it is, I would say that, and Germany is pretty the same. So Germany and Sweden are pretty the same in that aspect. So it is but in Spain is not like that. So I would say that some countries are more toward this plant-based protein, but some countries are less. I can also add that when it comes to this different products, like for example, in tempeh in Indonesia is very famous. So everybody eat tempeh. I eat also quite a lot of tempeh when I'm in Indonesia. But for example, it is also available in Swedish market, but it's not so big. I think many people, they don't like the tempeh taste. That's the reason. So it means that we need some kind of adaptation that to make it a little bit different in a way that people would like it here, then it can grow up. And that's what the same for all the other products. So that was a little bit general, I can say.
Thank you. And I'm looking forward to trying Millow when it comes out in the market.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Professor, for your inspiring talk. As you mentioned before, about consumer acceptance, how to gain trust from the customer. Maybe you can share some experience beside from your Millow product, like how can you gain trust for customer, because some of people do not really want to eat the alternative protein. They still want to eat real protein or meal. Thank you.
Thank you. That's also an important question. This consumer acceptance, I would say that if you want to succeed in any new product, not only this one, there are a few issues that we should consider. The first thing is that you should have some kind of good taste, good texture, and then good price. That is the first issue. That many of the companies and many of the products, they fail in maybe one or several of these factors. Then the fourth one is that you need to have some kind of good nutritional value. That is also another one. Then you can also talk about some other factor which comes in, and that could be a little bit depends on the country, and also depends on the society. In the Swedish culture, people are they are open normally to taste and to a new product. Some countries are not open, but in Swedish culture, that are open to taste a new product. So they taste it. Doesn't mean that they will buy it in the future, but they taste it and then say, okay, do I like it or I don't like it? But in general, that if we say that if you can come with these three things, good price, good taste, and good texture, and then good nutritional value, then you can also come to the other factors. Like, for example, for many people is important to be, for example, local food, local raw material. Then you talk about also this clean label that is very critical also in here. We talk about ultra processed food, that it is a very bad debate about it. So if there are many, for example, corn is ultra processed because they add a lot of different chemicals, binder, and so on. So they lost a lot of market because of the ultra processed. And many different products is like that. So so you should look at on different markets that how to put these factors together in that specific region or a specific country that you are dealing with, and then what is important for them, and then you develop it. And also, in addition to those, I talk about also the environmental factors. For example, if you want to produce 1 kilogram of your product, how much carbon dioxide you use, how much water you are using, how much land you are using, how much raw material you are using, and so on. And then when you get it, then another point is how to communicate with the material, how you make your branding, communication, and so on. And this is something that you should think. And then if you are put all these factors together, that is very, very complicated. I don't know if you are a student or you are a researcher, but I would say that if you have some product that you think that you are ready to go to the market as a researcher, maybe I can say that maybe you have done 10% of the work, 90% is still left. Because you have to think about all the other factors. How to make, for example, a selling network, how to make how to communicate with people. And so it is a very complicated question. But that is what we are doing right now. And for Millow, that we have done all this type of things, and then we are coming to the market in this, we say this year. So we are installing all the equipment and everything, and then we have built all these things that I'm saying. But it is valid for almost every country and every product, every company and every product. That will be the same.
Thank you very much for your answer.
Thank you.
There any other questions from the participants? No? Okay. Professor, maybe I would like to ask one question. Just to continue the last question, that there is some factors like textures. So we know that the breakthrough of microprotein is very interesting, and most of its application tends to approach the meat analog, if I'm not mistaken. But how can we maintain the textures based on the laboratory work that you do? What kind of specific factors that affect that we can approach to get a better textures?
This is something actually is not a simple question, and I would say that there are different ways, and every company they are doing different things. But if I give you one general issue, one general way is you can add, for example, this let's say methyl cellulose, for example, or you can add some kind of gluten. That is, and we have such kind of product. Methyl cellulose, gluten are quite common, or some companies they are adding some kind of, for example, pectin or egg or such kind of things. And they are also selling on the market, but the question is that what is your product? What, for example, what is missing? What should be improved? And then what kind of what way to do that? But there is also another side of this. The point is that, for example, here, if we add with this methyl cellulose, for example, we can easily make a very good texture. That is no question for that. But the public opinion, it is against it. So if you're right, for example, I have methyl cellulose and you have to write it. If you add it, you have to put it on this on the label that we have methyl cellulose in this product. Yeah, you have a good texture, but when people read it, it becomes a little bit scary, and then people don't like it. So then it means that how can you do it without adding such kind of thing, which have a bad opinion or have a bad reputation among people, and then bad consumer acceptance, and then still solve the problem? That is something that is, I would say, that's $1 million question. So you cannot just say that what to do, and that could be different in different situation. And but in, for example, in Millow, we don't add anything. So that we try to, through the fermentation process, we try to come up with some kind of good texture. And that took, imagine that I'm working with fungi 30 years. And I have so many publications and so many work. But it was the hardest work that for me to come up with a good texture without adding anything. And so I had to work for several years to fix this type of things. So it is not an easy actually way to do that, and there are many different ways, but how to solve one problem without creating another problem, that is an issue.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. So there is some plus minus related to the, also with the public opinion and also the regulators, I believe, that for development this microprotein. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is the same, for example, if you are using this, for example, bacteria, you can produce a lot of protein. But the question is that can you get a good texture out of this bacteria? That is an issue. Maybe it's not an easy we say, solution. Or another issue is that can you have this, can you say, for example, put the product, and then the question is you have to put it on the label. It contains the bacteria. when people see the bacteria, it become a little bit scary, yeah? People like, for example, to eat bacteria? So it is something that, for example, if you think the probiotic, they don't say that it contains bacteria. It has a lot of bacteria inside. But they come up with another name that they call it contains a probiotic drink. And it has a good market because probiotic has a good impression, but bacteria has a bad impression. You cannot say it contains bacteria, but you can say it has a contain probiotic. So this is something that how to deal with it, and it has its own expertise, what type of terminology that you should use. And then for example, I'm not good in such kind of thing. I'm expert on fungal fermentation. But what type of terminology, what type of things that you should use it, and that is come to a little bit of the branding and such kind of, that would be another things to do, and you need another expertise.
Yes, thank you, and that's why we need the co-creation that you talked before, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
I can tell you,
Taherzadeh.
this. You see this the brand that Millow that we have here. It was made by one of our shareholders, which is Rob Jainov. He's behind this Millow of Apple, iPhone and Apple. He's the guy that he developed it for Steve Jobs. So he's the same guy that is working for us.
Wow.
So and when I talk to him several times. When I talk to him, practically we don't understand each other, but we love each other's work. And if you want to succeed in something, you should dare to work with people that are out of your expertise. So if you know how to produce food, maybe you need someone who's good to sell. Another one is, for example, investor, and this type of thing. You should put some kind of team together. Then it works.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Taherzadeh, for the insightful presentation lecture today. Okay, let me give a quick recap for this section. So this lecture showed that the microbes are important not only for the food fermentation, but also, as Prof. Taherzadeh said, food preservation, probiotic, biocontrol, biofertilizers, waste valorization. As a major focus, Prof. Taherzadeh also tell us about the mycoprotein and other fermented driven alternative proteins. So another key message was that neither nature-based approach nor the technology alone are not sufficient. We need the co-creation. Sustainable transformation requires integration of nature-based solutions, science and technology, and also the co-creation among the stakeholders. And one of them, Prof. Taherzadeh, also have a great collaboration with the designer for the Apple logo that design also the Millow. So this topic especially relevant for the Indonesia or the Southeast Asia countries, which have a rich fermentation tradition, abundant agricultural side streams, and a strong potential maybe for a microbial innovation in tropical food system. Overall, the lecture encouraged us to see microorganism not merely as processing agent, but also as transformative actor in the future of food system. So thank you very much, Prof. Taherzadeh, and we've come to the end of the sections. Once again, thank you very much. It's a privilege for us to have the opportunity to learn from you, from your experience, insight in microbial biotechnology, circular bioeconomy, and sustainable food system. We've gained a deeper understanding on how microorganism can contribute to the sustainable food system. On behalf of organizing committee, I would like to express our sincerely appreciation to Prof. Taherzadeh and to all of the participants who are joining the section. We would like to also present the certificate of appreciation to Prof. Taherzadeh as a token of our gratitude for the knowledge and perspective that you give us. Please give a round of applause for Prof. Taherzadeh. Thank you very much, Prof. Taherzadeh. We hope all
Thank you, and I wish all of you good luck for your future. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope that all the knowledge that you have generously shared to us will return to you in many blessings, many other blessings. Thank you once again, Professor Taherzadeh. With that, I would like to give the session back to the Master of Ceremony. Thank you very much, Prof. Taherzadeh. Have a
Thank you,
thank you.
thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
And also we would like to thank Mr. Stogestus Kurniawan Cherry MSc, who led the discussion before, and the certificate of appreciation will be given by the Vice Chairman of the Short Course 2026, Ms. Taliana Siha MSc MBA. With the session of appreciation certificate already implemented, then the fourth material of this short course has ended. For operators, you may stop the recording.